Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the show where I recap the theatre news of the week in the most chaotic way possible. Normally, I do these on a Sunday or a Monday, but I'm late this week, so you can also have some of this week's news as well, just sprinkled on in there, because it feels weird if we all know that it's happened, but I'm making this video so late, and I just wait. So this is just going to have extra news stories. I mean, last week was really quiet anyway. Like, if I hadn't put the extra news stories in there, we would have had like one new production announced. So it's probably a good thing that I'm so late this week. But if you want to stay up to date with UK theatre, normally very consistently on a good day, you can hit subscribe because I do these every single week. But let's start off as we always do with our casting news. Now, while there isn't much actual, like, new productions news, casting, there was quite a few stories, so let's get into it. Starting with the tour of Pride and Prejudice, sort of. Yes, the very popular Pride and Prejudice, sort of, is returning to a UK tour. This is its second UK tour, and we'll be going to Newcastle Theatre Royal, Northampton, Chelmsford, Wolverhampton, Nottingham, Shrewsbury, York, Guildford, Poole, Sheffield, Malvern, Plymouth, Birmingham, Richmond, Glasgow, Oxford, Salford, Bath, Aberdeen, Canterbury, Lichfield, Leeds, and Southampton. If you're wondering why it was so weird, something is kind of blocking my screen, so I can't see the thing. So let me move that so I can actually see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was very smart of me. Put the thing on screen where you can't see it. But in this cast for this show are Emma Rose Creaner, who's going to be playing Tilly, Charlotte Lucas, Charles Bingley, and Miss Bingley. Eleanor Kane as Anne, Mary Bennet, Lydia Bennet, and Mrs. Gardner. Rhianna McGreevy as Flo, Mrs. Bennet, and Fitzwilliam Darcy. Naomi Preston Lowe as Effie and Elizabeth Bennet, and Christine Steele as Clara, Jane Bennet, and Lady Catherine. This tour launches, as I mentioned, at the Newcastle Theatre Royal, starting on the 19th to the 28th September 2024. More tour dates will be announced soon. Saying that, I'm pretty sure Chichester Festival Theatre has also announced that they will be taking in this show, so already new tour stops are being announced, so keep an eye out on your local, whether Pride and Prejudice is sort of coming near you. Next up, Les Mis. Now, we've already had most of the cast for the arena tour. There's going to be a lot of the ensemble who have been announced, who will be in the description down below. Some cool names in here are Owain Williams, who was in Priscilla the Party. I've actually interviewed him. Lovely guy. And there's also child casting for the roles of Gavroche and Little Cosette. They will all be in the description down below. One of the leads we'll talk about right now, though, is the role of Eponine, who has been announced as Emily Batusta. Emily will be starring in the UK performances in Belfast, Glasgow, Sheffield, and Aberdeen, with casting for Manchester and Newcastle performances being announced soon. This arena tour has so much casting and so many different people at different venues. Like, there's some people going across the world. It's so complicated that if I broke it down completely, I would be here for 5 years. So I will leave a link to the website in the description as well, so you can have a look at the cast members for each tour stop, and that will just make my life easier. Thank you so much. Next up, it may be the summer, but we're starting to talk about Panto. We have the cast for the iconic Lyric Hammersmith Panto. This year they are doing Aladdin, and the cast are as follows. We have Andre Antonio, who will be taking on the title role of Aladdin, returning to the stage as Widow Twerky. That's very funny. Because it's normally Widow Twanky. Oh, this is so dumb. This is Panto, though. Panto is so dumb. I love it. Is Emmanuel Akwafo and Jodie Jacobs as the genie. Both of these actors having been in last year's pantomime Cinderella. Elena Mahanridge has been cast as Jasmine, and Andrew Pepper will play the antagonist, Abananza. We also have an ensemble who will be in the description down below, but if you want to catch a little bit of a pantomime in London, specifically at Hammersmith, you can check this out from the 16th of November to the 5th of January 2025. Next up, heading to the Donmar Warehouse, we have a very exciting cast announcement for Fear of 13. This is a show that is marking the first production for Tim Shearer's tenure as artistic director. Academy Award winner Adrian Brody will be joined by Nana Mensah, Michael Fox, Aidan Kelly, Posey Muraquinho, Cyril Unry, Ferdy Roberts, and Tommy Symeon. This is being directed by Justin Martin, so we have got a little bit longer to wait for a production directed by Tim Shearer. I think if I'm correct, the first one he is doing is Natasha Bear and the Great Comet of 1812, but this production will open on the 4th of October and run into the 30th of November 2024. Next up, we have Oedipus. This is the first of 2 Oedipuses we are getting very, very soon. This is the West End one going to the Wyndhams. We had previously announced that Mark Strong and Leslie Manville will be starring in the show, and joining them will be Samuel Brewer, Michael Gould, Sarah Hazemi, Gary MacDonald, Bhaskar Patel, Thea Saban, Jordan Scrowan, June Watson, and James Wilbraham, with some ensemble members and some understudies who will be in the description down below. Next up, we have a new cast for Moulin Rouge. Now, continuing it in the role of Christian is Dom Simpson, but joining him from the 14th of October will be Natalie Cassandra, who will be our new Satine, and Craig Ryder, who will take on Harold Ziedler, having previously covered the role. As I spoke about when we spoke about Hadestown the past week, it's so cool when we see an understudy move up to the lead role, so very excited for him there. Joining the show as well in some supporting roles are Dex Lee, Ben Richards, Ivan De Freitas, Charlotte Gooch, Hannah J. Allen, Helen K. Wint, and Mateo Johnson. We also have Angela Marie Hurst, who will be our alternate Satine. We also have a full ensemble who will be in the description down below. But this is very cool. I need to revisit Moulin Rouge. I haven't been back to Moulin Rouge in so long. I haven't seen Moulin Rouge since like January 2023. That was a while ago. I need to go back and visit it again. So maybe with this new cast, I will set in a new visit. Actually, saying that, I do also want to see Tanisha before she leaves. So maybe I've got 2 visits in me. Next up, and finally in casting news, we are heading up to Leicester, where we have the cast for the first full production of Super You. This is a show that we saw in concert in the West End last November, and starring and heading up this production will be Vicky Manser. You may remember her from Six, a fantastic performer, and she will be leading the show as Katie, alongside some cast members who will be reprising their roles from the concert, who are the creator Lord Lane as Rise, Elia Monk as young Katie, and Will Bozier as Miraw. New cast members include Kingsley Morton, who you may remember from the Addams Family tour as I'm Amazing, Courtney Stapleton from Beauty and the Beast as Blast, B. Noel Thomas as Seven, Damian Walsh as Jay, Owen Lloyd as Matty, Belinda Lee Chapman as Mum, and Lou Anthony as a superhuman, that's superhuman, and being the cover for Seven. We also have some ensemble members and some covers who will be in the description down below. But yeah, they seem to have really retooled this show after the concert. Obviously, the concert was not a sung-for musical. Apparently, it is now. It is interesting to see Lord Lane still perform in the show. I did expect her to take a step back after that concert. But the people of Leicester will get to have the first taste on what they think on Super You. That's it for casting. Let's move on to concerts, where we have the announcement of West End Does Christmas. It is returning once again this December, with initial casting revealed. This will feature 2 choirs and a West End orchestra, led by musical director Samuel Wilson. And the cast of West End musical talents leading this concert are very Wicked themed, as we have a previous Elphaba Glinda, a previous Elphaba, and a previous Fiero in Louise Dearman, Alice Fern, and Oliver Tomset, with additional casting to be confirmed soon. This will play 2 concerts at Cadogan Hall, Cadogan, I never know which one is which. Can someone please tell me which way I pronounce it? Is it Cadogan or Cadogan? I don't know. Somebody has told me before which is the right way to say it. I always don't know. But West End Does Christmas in Oz is scheduled to play 2 concerts at that venue that I still can't pronounce well on Sunday the 1st December at 2:30 and 6:30. So if you are interested in a little bit of a Wicked Christmas, you can go then. That's it for concert news this week. Let's move on to our miscellaneous news, where we have quite a few pro shots to talk about. First off, The Waitress pro shot. Obviously, this was shown in UK cinemas and is now going on to a variety of streaming services. Now, If I'm correct, I think that these are paid for. So if you have Amazon Prime, I don't think you can get it for free, but I think you can rent it. I may be incorrect with that, but correct me if I am wrong. You can also get this on DVD and Blu-rays. These are being released very soon, if not right now. I think right now. I think they are available right now. I'm really screwing up this news story, but that's what you get when you get your news from the most chaotic person on the internet. Another musical that is not got a pro shot yet, but is getting one, is Kiss Me Kate. A film performance of Kiss Me Kate, which was filmed a couple of weeks ago, will be heading into UK cinemas later this year. That is all we know. We know it has been filmed, and we know that it will be put into cinemas. Now, I've shared my opinion on Kiss Me Kate in my review. I was not a fan of it personally, but I know a lot of people who really, really love that production, and more power to you. So I'm sure a lot of them are very excited to have a version of Kiss Me Kate in their pockets forever. And trust me, I probably will be returning to it at some point just to see some of the performances from Stephanie J. Block, because, oh, she is a performer. And as always, it is just fantastic to see more and more shows get pro shots to make theatre more accessible for people who can't travel to London. And finally, in miscellaneous news this week, we had some confirmations for the Sunset cast album. Sunset Boulevard was recorded live at the Savoy Theatre. We have been waiting for ages to get some news on the cast album they announced, and finally, we have a release date. To coincide with the Broadway run, the cast album will be released globally on the 25th of October, so you can listen to it as a special spooky Halloween treat. This is really exciting. There's a lot of tracks on that track list. It's a chunky cast album, and I can't wait to listen to it again. That is it for miscellaneous news this week. We've only got 2 transfers and new productions. One thing was announced this morning that I quickly snuck into this video, and the other one is Cruel Intentions. Now, Cruel Intentions ran at the Other Palace earlier this year, and they announced some tour stops, but didn't send out an official press release, so I don't think I actually covered it properly. We have now seen that a few more venues have announced the tour. So we know that Cruel Intentions is going on an extensive tour, we just don't have a full list of tour dates. The venues we know that it's going to right now is the Birmingham Hippodrome from the 3rd to the 7th of June, the York Grand Opera House from the 18th of February, New Wimbledon Theatre from the 25th of February, Manchester's Palace Theatre from the 25th of March, and Leeds Grand Theatre from the 6th of May. So as you can tell, there's still some very hefty gaps in that schedule, so I'm sure we're going to see more announcements for stops for the Cruel Intentions tour very soon. Finally, the news that was announced this morning. Oh, I cannot wait. Titanique. We knew that Titanique was coming. We were losing a little bit of hope for it. We were like, is it going to come this year? Are we going to get it this year? And yes, we are. Titanique has confirmed its West End opening date and its theatre, which is the beautiful Criterion Theatre in the heart of Piccadilly Circus, and will be opening for previews on Monday the 9th of December, with an official opening night later in January. Now, tickets are going on sale on Thursday the 12th of September 2024, and right now we don't have a specific closing date, so we can assume that they are going for an open-ended run of this show. This doesn't seem to be a limited season, so hopefully Titanique will do very well and will have a slightly longer run in the West End. If you are unfamiliar with Titanique, this is a transfer from off-Broadway, which is a show all about Titanic, but being told by Celine Dion. It's full of improv. Their social media game is incredible. I can't wait to see who they cast in this show, because oh, all the roles in this show seem like so much fun, and it is packed with iconic tracks from Celine Dion's back catalogue. So, if you're a fan of Titanic, if you're a fan of improv, if you're a fan of Celine Dion, there's so much for you to enjoy here. I'm really excited for this. This is one of my most anticipated shows. I cannot wait to see it, and I hope that you're excited too. That is all your theatre news for this week. What are you most excited for? Am I going to have a very short video next week because I've only got 3 days worth of theatre news to talk about? Maybe. We don't know. Maybe tomorrow everything is going to get announced. But We'll find out then. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now and a link to my Instagram if you would like to drop me a follow over there. I also have links to other socials and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.